Well, the birch trees will make good firewood, but I need the spruce trees for my structure. I am seriously cold right now. The temperature must have dropped faster than forecast. If I can't get warm soon, this is going to be a real problem.
Hello, my name is Luke Nichols, and this is the My Life Outdoors YouTube channel. And no, you're not imagining things. This is NOT My YouTube channel.
Some of you guys may have heard that Steven's wife was recently diagnosed with cancer. So right now, Steven's got a lot on his plate, taking care of his wife and his 4 kids. And he's sleeping in the middle of a snowstorm. I've got about 2 hours to build a shelter and gather enough firewood. Oh, and because this is Steven's channel, I will be doing a little bit of gear review along the way. So come along for the ride. It's going to be a good time.
Your destination is on the left.
Man, I am getting a late start today. It's almost 2 o'clock and the sun's gonna set at 4. Every step is getting harder. I checked the map, but I can't see the trail anymore. We're pushing it, really pushing it now. Give the ice the old stomp test. The ice on creeks is really unpredictable. Some places it'll be feet thick, and other places it'll be super thin. You just kind of don't know. Oh, look at this. There's an otter right there. See him? Hey, little guy. Look at him. He's scooting on his belly right there. You can see where the water's punched up through the ice and is flowing across the top of the ice. Sketchy stuff, man. We don't want to be over there. The creek's getting really close to frozen over. So you can tell right now that there's no dignified way to get down this hill. I've burned up a lot of time. It's getting close to sunset. I need to really find a place to camp. It's really hard to gather materials in the dark. Ow. Yeah, look at that. I like this root ball. You can see where a big birch tree just tipped over and its roots pulled up and made this wall of dirt. It's a great place to build your shelter. One, because it's a wall that I don't have to make. Another nice part is that area underneath the root ball. You know, that's bare ground. And you can look at it and see what kind of dirt it is. It's a lot of clay and rocks. And birch trees don't grow in swamps. So I know if I build a fire here, it's not gonna thaw out a swamp and turn into a mud hole. There's just tons of dead wood around here, so plenty of fuel for a fire and materials for my shelter. Well, in honor of Steven, I thought I would do a little bit of gear review while I camp. If you guys are looking for a camp saw, hands down the best one on the market is the Agawa. This is the Boreal. They're just indestructible, high quality saws. I've had this thing for years. I only need to change the saw blade about once every year or 2. There's a number of copycats out there now, but this is the original. It's the best. It's hard to emphasize how much of a time crunch I'm in right now. I've got about 2.5 hours before it's dark. So in the next 2 hours, I need to cut enough wood to build my shelter and supply my fire to keep me warm all night long. So what I do is I just gather all the wood I can, throw it in a pile near the shelter, and then if the sun goes down on me, I can sit there and work on it next to the fire instead of wandering around in the dark looking for trees I can't see.
lot of dead birch here. Birch trees burn a lot hotter and longer than spruce trees, so I'll need much less birch firewood than I would spruce. Tree came down and knocked my glasses off. They're somewhere down here, I think. There they are. Man, they were really buried. All right, I'm gonna put them in my pocket. Well, the birch trees will make good firewood, but I need the spruce trees for my structure.
Gonna go through and knock all the limbs off the poles. The limbs and scrap pieces go on the fire.
The parts I'm gonna use to build my shelter, I lean up against the root ball, let those dry next to the fire so they're nice and warm and dry.
Tell you what, guys, it's getting dark quick. I need to put some vigor in my step. I need to get a fire going. It's getting dark. I am seriously cold right now. The temperature must have dropped faster than forecast. If I can't get warm soon, this is going to be a real problem. The key here is surface area. Make sure the wax is worked deep into the fibers. This creates a waterproof seal and ensures a long burn time for your torch. See how this root ball shelters us. That dense mass, along with the ground under the fire, soaks up the heat. We press the heat down into the earth like this, but eventually that warmth will radiate back up, keeping the shelter warm through the night. When you weigh the options, the hatchet versus the saw, it really just comes down to personal preference. I prefer the saw. Finally, nothing better than akutak by the fire. That's really good. This is akutak, or Eskimo ice cream, a vital source of energy in the unforgiving cold, made from whipped fat, berries, and snow. The key ingredients are usually rendered fat, fresh berries, and snow. Then you just whip it like this until it's fluffy. That hit the spot. You need the fuel when the temperature drops like this. Good and hot. This spot will work. Well, that's not very comfortable at all. Ow, ow, ow. It's this damp cold getting right into my spine. I am definitely too old for this. Whoa, that's aggressively sour. That'll wake you right up. Perfect. Definitely an improvement. See how it compresses and springs right back? This natural suspension supports the spine perfectly, ensuring a comfortable night out here. These green boughs are still fresh, so they won't catch easily. Keep your dry wood stacked away from the heat, and you're all set. That's coming down hard. It's too wet to last on the fire. We need to get the tarp up now. Right, let's get this done. The sooner I cut this, the sooner I can warm up. The root ball acts as a perfect reflector wall. It catches all the heat from the fire and radiates it back into the shelter. So let's talk about the build quality. This Dyneema material is rugged yet incredibly light. I mean, you can really feel the Dyneema fabric is incredibly light, but look at this reinforced stitching right here. It's surprisingly tough. Filling the pot with snow. Remember, it takes a lot of snow to make a little water. We've got a fantastic moose steak here alongside these potatoes, and of course the smoked salmon. This is gonna be a great meal. This is the rendered pork fat ball. We mixed in some wild herbs we found nearby. This right here is pure energy for the trail. The key to long-term preservation, especially out here, is the fat to protein ratio. This keeps the moisture out and the energy locked in. All right, let's get this flour open. Every bit counts. Pour in the warm water, zip it up tight, and then you just knead it right here in the bag. Keep you warm in there. Don't overlook the small things. These are just simple salt and pepper packets, but they are crucial for making the food edible. Don't ever throw these spice packets away. They are crucial for morale in a survival situation. Just give it a shake and right into the pocket it goes. This is the steel pan I rely on out here. Listen to that sound. It's incredibly durable and perfectly seasoned for the fire. Wow, this is incredible. Comfort food like this in the backcountry, you can't beat it. I'm telling you, a hearty rabbit stew, slow cooked over the coals with some wild carrots, that's the dream right there. That's what we're aiming for. That is good. These Salomon Tundra boots are essential. The insulation here, as you can hear, is incredibly durable and rated for extreme cold. The durability on the toe cap here is essential for bushcraft. Just listen to that solid construction. Get back! Get back now! Not enough to thrive.
Where the water runs deeper. And holds bigger fish. His needs are simple. Food from the lake.
Which he travels to a nearby waterfall to collect.
Three weeks have passed after resting.
And with some strength regained, he decides it's time to relocate the raft.
Seeking a place that can sustain him in the months ahead.
The new area is rich in resources.
With bow timber and bamboo nearby. He strengthens the raft and builds a proper shelter.
The rainy season is approaching. And his home must be ready to withstand it.
As he works, he's not just building for survival, but continuing a legacy. For centuries, communities in Southeast Asia have thrived in floating villages.
Mastering the art of bamboo construction.
To create entire lives afloat.
back in the forest.
Tied sections cut from a large hollowed log will serve as perfect planters.
For his new garden.
He gathers the soil.
A sign that it's full of rotted leaves.
Perfect natural fertilizer. Beyond just shelter, he now cultivates life.
Planting peppers, ferns, and a banana tree.
The first seeds of a truly self-sustaining floating home.
As life begins to grow, need for a place to cook.
He starts to build a covered kitchen.
Sealing every gap carefully.
1 man, 1 year, and 1 impossible goal.
To build a self-sustaining village floating in the middle of a remote lake. Watch improvised engineering remake his world.
He builds a floating rice field, food that rises and falls with the lake.
He sets up animal traps, then turns the catch into a growing farm across land and water. He crafts a pedal-powered boat to explore the wild and push deeper into the unknown.
He faces a wild beehive, risking stings for honey and wax.
This isn't just survival. It's design under pressure.
Begin the main content in this wild forest. In the rainforests of Vietnam, survival begins with the most essential. The first challenge is turning dry materials into a foundation for life.
Bamboo, strong, buoyant, and abundant, will be the cornerstone of his floating home.
The first shore is too steep and rocky for construction.
He relocates with his dog to a flatter, sandy bank.
To tie things together, he uses bamboo, splitting it into thick strands to create strong, flexible ropes.
It will also make work easier during the entire build.
Back at the build, a framework of timber begins to rise.
To create a solid deck, a remarkable technique unfolds.
This method creates an incredibly strong, rigid frame.
He has no workshop, no power tools.
The sheer volume of shingles presents a logistical challenge. Ingenuity sparks.
From the same bamboo resource, he engineers a lever crane. Hours of intense labor can be eased with a few gentle lifts.
Inside the shelter, smaller logs create a raised wooden floor, providing a dry and elevated place to sleep.
Let's begin the main content here in this wild forest.
This added space is crucial. It provides stability to the raft and a large area to expand his floating world. Here, he plans to build a kitchen, a small garden to grow his food.
And a pond to keep the fish he catches.